A destroyed Russian anti-aircraft missile system, marked with the Z symbol, is seen in the village of Huzarivka, in Kharkiv region, Ukraine, April 14. Reuters. Alkis Konstantinides. Wrecks of Russian armored personnel carriers, APC, and military vehicles on the front line near Kyiv, Ukraine, March 29. Reuters. Gleb Garanich. A Ukrainian serviceman walks near the remains of a Russian Mi-8 helicopter that crashed near the village of Havronchkina in Kyiv region, Ukraine, April 27. Reuters. Mykola Timchenko. People pose for a picture in front of the debris of Russian military machinery in the village of Rusanov, Kyiv region, Ukraine, April 25. Reuters. Vladislav Muzhienko. Destroyed Russian army vehicles are seen in the forest in Yehedny, Chernihiv region, Ukraine, April 27. Reuters. Zora Ben-Semra. Scavengers search for useful metal parts in a destroyed Russian tank outside Kyiv, April 20. Reuters. Jorge Silva. Ukrainian soldiers walk next to destroyed Russian tanks and armored vehicles in Bucha, in Kyiv region, Ukraine, April 6. Reuters. Alkis Konstantinides. A local resident rides a motorcycle next to a wrecked Russian armored vehicle in the village of Yehedny, Ukraine, April 20. Reuters. Vladislav Muzhienko. A charred Russian tank is seen on the front line in the Kyiv region, Ukraine, March 20. Ukrainian ground forces via Reuters. Destroyed Russian military vehicles are seen on a street in the settlement of Borodyanka, in the Kyiv region, Ukraine, March 3. Reuters. Maxim Levin. A destroyed Russian armored fighting vehicle in the village of Lukianivka, in Kyiv region, Ukraine, March 27. Reuters. Serhiy Noznenko. Ukrainian service members stand next to a destroyed Russian military vehicle in the town of Trostianets, in Sumy region, Ukraine, March 27. Press service of the Ukrainian ground forces via Reuters. Destroyed Russian military vehicles are seen on a street in the settlement of Borodyanka, in the Kyiv region, March 3. Reuters. Maxim Levin. A view shows destroyed Russian army multiple rocket launchers with the letter Z painted on their sides in Kharkiv, February 25. Reuters. Maxim Levin. Ukrainian servicemen walk by a damaged vehicle, at the site of a fighting with Russian troops in Kyiv, Ukraine, February 26. Reuters. Valentin Ogirenko. The wrecks of Russian armored personnel carriers in the North Kyiv region, Ukraine, March 28. Reuters. Gleb Garanich. A Ukrainian serviceman stands near the wreck of a Russian armored personnel carrier on the front line in the Kyiv region, Ukraine, March 28. Reuters. Gleb Garanich. Ukrainian servicemen are seen next to a destroyed armored vehicle, which they said belongs to the Russian army, outside Kharkiv, February 24. Reuters. Maxim Levin. Ukrainian servicemen inspect a damaged vehicle, at the site of fighting with Russian troops in Kyiv, Ukraine, February 26. Reuters. Valentin Ogirenko. A Ukrainian service member inspects remains of a destroyed Russian T-72 tank in the liberated village of Lukianivka, in Kyiv region, Ukraine, March 27. Reuters. Serhiy Noznenko. A Ukrainian serviceman stands near the wreck of a Russian tank on the front line in the Kyiv region, Ukraine, March 28. Reuters. Gleb Garanich. A wreck of a Russian armored personnel carriers, APC, on the front line in the Kyiv region, Ukraine, March 28. Reuters Glatgaranich. A destroyed Russian tank is seen beside a house in Dmitrivka village, west of Kyiv, Ukraine, April 1. Reuters Zorobensemra. Destroyed Russian tanks are seen in the Sumy region, Ukraine, March 7. Irina Rybakova, press service of the Ukrainian ground forces. A police officer films a damaged Russian artillery tank in Trostianets, Sumy region, Ukraine, April 15. Reuters Zorobensemra. A charred Russian tank is seen, amid Russia's invasion of Ukraine, in the Sumy region, Ukraine, March 7. Irina Rybakova, press service of the Ukrainian ground forces. The remains of a Russian fighter aircraft at a residential area in Chernihiv, Ukraine, March 5. State Emergency Service of Ukraine via Reuters. A man jumps from a Russian T-72 tank in the village of Yehedny, Ukraine, April 20. Reuters Vladislav Muzhienko. A view shows destroyed Russian Army all-terrain infantry mobility vehicles Tiger on a road in Kharkiv, Ukraine, February 28. Reuters Villiny. A Ukrainian service member stands next to destroyed Russian military vehicles in the village of Dmitrivka in Kyiv region, Ukraine, April 1. Reuters Alexander Klimenko. An interior view shows a destroyed Russian Army all-terrain infantry mobility vehicle Tiger on a road in Kharkiv, Ukraine, February 28. Reuters Villiny. Russian military vehicles with the letter Z painted on them are seen in the north of the Kharkiv region, Ukraine, March 2. Irina Rybakova, press service of the Ukrainian ground forces. The wreck of a Russian tank is seen in the village of Lukyanivka outside Kyiv, Ukraine, March 27. Reuters Marko Urika. A view shows the wreckage, which Ukrainian military officials said is the remains of a Russian Air Force assault aircraft in a field outside the town of Volnovakha in the Donetsk region, Ukraine, March 4. Press service of the Joint Forces operation via Reuters. A Ukrainian soldier looks at part of a destroyed Russian military vehicle in the village of Huzarivka, in Kharkiv region, Ukraine, April 14. Reuters Alkis Konstantinidis.